Yeah.
Yeah.
All good to start?
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so welcome in, guys. Welcome to the Full Stack Adventure. Hi, Takif, Hazel, Christopher, and Samson. So I guess it's gonna be a small group today. Which the more I feel you guys should on your videos so I can see your faces. Looking good, guys. Looking good. Thanks, Hazel. What about Takif, Samson, and Christopher?
Hey, sorry if you don't mind. I'm actually on my bed. It's a little bit messy here, so if you don't mind, I'll keep the video off for now.
Okay, lah. Then later we'll just on it later, I guess. Not a
Sure.
very photogenic group. No worries, guys. That's just no worries, no worries. No worries. Okay, guys. So just want to know, when you guys signed up for this, like, what were your impressions about us? Were we shady? Were we, you know, unorganized? Were we messy? How was it like? Share your thoughts, your feedback.
I think for the uninitiated, they would probably think it's quite sketchy because of the price point to the perceived value. Uh, I know in terms of the delivery, it's not really that difficult, and I think in terms of margins, you guys are all right. But overall, if anything, it's a bit on the low side. But
What's a bit on the low side?
pricing wise,
Oh yeah.
but overall,
Okay.
I think I understand what you guys are going for. That's why I just paid up front. Like it wasn't anything particularly special in terms of
No worries. So, do you know? Want to give a guess, maybe from one of each of you guys? What do we do?
It's actually a educational front for an incubator service. Your main business should not be this.
Okay. Anyone else want to add on to that? No. Cool. So just to share, right, we actually started off as a community, right? Because we noticed, I myself, I'm from a finance background. My co-founder is from a finance background, right? And we both taught ourselves how to code and started doing projects with clients, with our other partners and all that, right? And we noticed a gap in the market in which I have friends myself, right, who is a computer science graduate, and he went for interviews and he couldn't do the interviews. It was a back-end interview. Another guy went for a front-end interview and he told me to help him out, and I could do it like way better than he did. All I did was I locked myself at home for 6 months and I learned to code on my own. So I was just thinking, do we really need to pay for university degrees? Do we need to go for boot camps, right? $10,000, $20,000, right? Do we need to do that kind of stuff? So I realized we don't need to do it, and that's how we started. So Samson, to answer your question, right, we actually started off with solely just education, just teaching people. Yes, the price point is really low, margins are low, but we're not we didn't really start off with profit in mind. We started off with sustainability and to start a new movement in learning where we can involve as many people as possible. So we go out to social impact groups, refugee groups, and people who are not so financially well off, people who will make the most out of it. So we reach out to these people first before really going to the mass market. That's how we started. But all in all, we're all about the hacker mindset, right? The mindset that things shouldn't need to be done traditionally, like how it's always done. We need to think of different ways of doing things, like learning. Who said you need to pay for universities to get a job? That kind of stuff, right? So let's just move on with my next one. Who are we? We are a tech educator. So one part of our business is obviously we're passionate about education. Everything we do, we love education, right? And it's just a coincidence that tech is the thing that we are most familiar with. But obviously we have different things like marketing, design, and all that stuff as well. But we're just focusing on tech right now because we're just monetizing a lot on the projects that we're doing. And then obviously we're a venture builder as well. So anyone knows what's a venture builder? Anyone has any big names in venture building?
A venture builder would be what you would normally term a modern incubator. Because the previous incubators of the past were very finance based and very financial based, whereas the technical one would actually solve technical issues with the financial ones.
Very
But from
nice.
your website, I believe you also do offer a variety of funding and investment options.
Very nice. Thanks for sharing that, Samson. Yes, in fact, you're right. there's no hard definition to what a venture builder is. If you ask, someone else, they will probably give you a different definition. There's no really right one. But if you guys know what venture capital is where they focus on finance, just giving the finances, just to get the company going and make sure it's sound enough that you can scale to $1 billion valuation. That's what VCs do. So another example, if they have 1 million ringgit, they probably give like 100K to 10 companies, that kind of stuff, right? Seed funding. So in venture builders, in our concept, what we do is we realize a lot of people have really good ideas and they had solid fundamentals in their business, but they just get burnt by tech so much, right? So on top of just financial help, we also provide tech help. So we co-found a business together as a partner with this really cool entrepreneurs, and we just take over the tech side for them so they can focus on their business. And finally, another thing we do is, we just do a ton of like outsource work, outsource contract projects. People want to build a marketplace for streetwear, for example, right? We just build it up for them from scratch. So that's the kind of thing we do, right? And oftentimes we also bring our students on board to work on them. So, and we feel like this is the best way to actually learn, which is to get your hands dirty and code, right? So this is, in summary, what we are, right? Tech educator, venture builder, all about the hacker mindset, all about doing things differently, all about, fighting for a better way of doing education, because it hasn't been evolved for the past 100 years, right? So yeah, I mean, looking at this this slide over here, you can go to canva.live and you guys can ask me a question anytime, since we're a really small group now anyways. You can ask me a question anytime. But if you want to, and you don't want to stop me, you're shy or anything, you can just drop it over here. Everyone can see a question, and we just run through any of your questions together. So yeah, I mean, this is our vision. Our vision is really to make education accessible to all, to disrupt the need for traditional 3 to 5 year degree, to raise awareness on the self-taught movement, the hacker mindset, and to build successful ventures across Asia. If you look at our websites, we're currently working on 5 different ventures in quite a few different verticals, right? We got F&B, technology, we have, what else? We have a marketplace, we have an automation platform, like all sorts of really cool stuff, right? That we want to be raising funds in the future. And currently, we're still really at the very start, and we've just been around for 1 year, just really testing out different ideas to see what works, and really growing the community. And finally, also, to match people to jobs without needing them to go through traditional education. We've been doing that, and we would love to see this expand more and more, right? So tech is tough. Is it really possible? So this is our beliefs, and if you have these beliefs, just like how this beliefs is just something that we form ourselves. I myself have, and a ton of our other community members that successfully done it. They agree with this belief, because fundamentally, this is not a ticket where you pay whatever amount we charge you. I think we charge 300 USD. This is not a program where you pay 300 USD and then suddenly you become a developer. It's not as simple as that, right? I know in university, if you pay 100,000 ringgit or 100,000 Sing dollars, for example, right, in Singaporean universities, you probably get a degree after 3 years. It's very fixed, right? You just have to go the normal path, pass your papers, don't have to excel on it, and then that's it. You get your degree. Even if you just pretty much crammed everything, even if you copied everything, even if you, I don't know, you find your own ways to cheat through it, right? That's a degree. But in this context, for the 200-300 USD that you're paying, you're not paying us for like a free ticket premium pass where you pay for this course and you become successful. It's all about going through the hustle, right? The hours add up. Some people do it in 3 months, some 6 months. A lot of people ask me, how long will this take? Well, the answer is, I don't know. I don't know about your skill sets, your time, your involvements, your commitments. But what I know is me and the team will be providing you everything you need to really make it out of this thing and really craft a career, make a living out of this, right? So the hours that you put in every day would dictate how long it takes before you can, start making money or start monetizing your skill sets. So yeah, I think that's that. And yeah, the internet is full of resources, right? You pay a uni degree, you pay a bootcamp, you pay us. We all go back to the same documentation. It's just down to your own implementation and how we can support you in that journey. I gave up multiple times when I was learning, and I know it's not easy. That's why we started this, to provide our community members help and support. Yeah, you learn the best by teaching each other. So a lot of our past students are now also mentors. That's why we have the Pathwatch portal, which is where we want to socialize and gamify the entire learning experience, so people stay motivated and people just sustainably help each other instead of having to pay for every time you want to ask a question, that kind of stuff. And finally, self-teaching is 100% possible. You need to believe in this. right? Some people don't believe in it. They say, hey, you guys are shady. You guys don't have degrees. How can you guys be doing this? Then we just say, okay, if you don't have the belief in the first place, you're not gonna make it. You need to have the belief that you can do it too. So cool. And yeah, then finally, what are you gonna do if the tech gets replaced? The thing about university education is also, it's so expensive, right? And they serve hundreds of thousands of students, right? Probably in one cohort every year, they get like 5,000 students, right? And it's very hard to keep changing the curriculum, even though tech changes every 3 to 6 months. We ourselves, we've pivoted our curriculum quite a few times whenever we discover new and better technologies. Oftentimes something will be released where, you can do the same thing with like freaking 20% of the effort that compared to what you previously needed. So, we always want to revamp our curriculum to make sure and you are using the best technology out there. And that is what that's what we're really all about. So why are we so excited about THC 2.0? Well, just to introduce you guys, why did we call it 2.0? It's because back in the days when we did this, we had a structured curriculum where people come and join us like a weekly tuition center, come together. Obviously, they're on their videos and they talk, get to know each other. And it's really a community for learning, right? Back in the days, we did that. But we realized a problem that repeated almost among every group, which is after a few months, people lose motivation, or after a few months, or not after a few months, like every now and then, people cannot make it. And then they end up watching videos instead. And I feel like, if I'm just gonna, run a class, take my time and run a class with a bunch of people who just leaves the class, and it will kind of affect the flow of the overall class, right? If 3 people leaves the class, then there's like 5 people left, and it's gonna be very hard for these 5 people to continue working together, because when the 3 guys who went MIA comes back, they'll be left out. And that's why we realized we needed to tweak the learning model a little bit. And this is why we included a peer learning model where we want students to help each other, right? Not completely rely on a mentor, but it's all about learning together. We want to bring the social experience from learning in traditional schools. We want to bring it online, and so people can collaborate like that. We got a complete social learning portal. Thank you so much for understanding that this portal is not 100% complete yet, but we've been putting a lot of effort into it, and we're still consistently adding more and more stuff into it. And right now, it might seem a little bit dead, but just give us a bit more time. We're going to be adding more users, more content creators, and all these features will be done really soon. Currently, some of you might have encountered some bugs here and there, but we're going to be fixing it very soon. We just want to be pre-launching it so that we don't wait too long before we launch this portal, right? Then Go Live program. Go Live program is something where we work with our students to work on projects. That's simply it, right? That's all. Currently, last time the way we did things was my students were like, hey Derek, I've learned month 1 to month 4. I'm now pretty good in my front end development skills, and I want to start monetizing. What can I do? Then I have to go on a call, half an hour with them, each one by one, to just talk to them. Oh, you can do this, you can do that. So I feel like I want to find a different way of doing this, where we serve as the central portal, the central place where companies come here and they just post their projects there, right? We just be completely transparent. We don't hawk all these projects. We put it out there and see whoever wants to do it. Some will be paid, some will be free, but regardless, as beginners, just do it, right? Even if it's free, just do it. Then you can put it at least, right? Comparing to boot camps or comparing to universities, right? The projects that they do probably going to be projects that are not paid, right? They are like toy apps, that kind of stuff, right? Toy apps and all, they're good. But if you can showcase to your employers that you are building something that's production ready, you build something that someone else is currently using live, that's going to have a lot more weightage to whatever you build, not just a toy app anymore. It's now a production ready app, right? Okay, moving on, bring your startup ideas to life. The way we did things in THC 1.0 was each group, as they progressed through the months, by month 6, their final project, their final task is to together build a production ready app and just deploy it to the market, get users and all that. Right now, we don't quite have that, just because now we're clumping up everyone into our weekly live sessions. But you guys can still do it on the portal. If you want to start a project, let's say you wanted to do an app that is like Facebook, right? But for, I don't know, like Facebook for lawyers, for example, right? You can go and pitch your idea on Pathforge and look for people to work on this together. To build something from scratch, oftentimes it's very hard to do it yourself. You can, but it's going to take a long time, and it's always better to just get someone who's good at front end to focus on front end, someone's good at back end to focus on back end, and obviously you're gonna need a project manager, you're gonna need a project lead to start getting clients, get users, right? All these things have to come together. If you build an app yourself and you don't get the business side running, it's just gonna be a dead app, pretty much like what we have now for PathWatch, because we've been focusing so much on the tech side of things and just to get it up ASAP working, that we didn't really focus too much on getting the creators on board, getting the mentors on board, getting the users on board, getting the companies and the projects on board. We didn't focus on this yet. So over the next coming months, you're going to see it grow more and more. So I just want to thank you guys again for joining us, even when we're still at this early stage. And finally, unlimited mentorship. This thing is valid for 3 months. So I'm just going to consider it as, from for 3 months until now. So you guys can reach out to any of the mentors throughout these 3 months, anytime at all. Just schedule a call with them. Say, hey, Logan, can I have a call with you for 30 minutes, for example? Then by all means, just go ahead, have a call, ask your questions, and that's it, right? Solve your problems right away. Because oftentimes, last time when I was learning myself, I gave up really, really quick because, yes, you can learn yourself on the internet. There's a ton of resources like Free Code Camp, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. It's really, really good. But as you start going to algorithms and as you start going into the more technical details and don't have someone to hold your hands a little bit, you're going to completely drown and give up. So what we want to achieve here is we don't want to be holding your hands, because as a developer, we cannot be holding your hands. You need to learn yourself. What we want to do is we want to be kind of like throwing a little life buoy at you when you're drowning to help you a little bit, just to get past that hard stage. And then you keep continue drowning. You're going to be drowning consistently throughout the next 3 to 6 months. And that's the only way you learn, right? There's no, free meal where, you just do it, enjoy the ride, and then suddenly you're a super rockstar developer, no such thing, right? So yeah, I think that's that. Cool, I think I've talked enough. Don't want to bore you guys too much. I can introduce a little bit about myself after you guys break the ice, because you guys probably kind of have a better idea on what the Hacker Collective is all about, and you don't even know what our ventures are, but you know what the Hacker Collective is fundamentally about. We also are going to get, so for those of you who are in Malaysia, we're also going to be getting a co-working space in PJ, and you guys can feel free to come and drop by anytime you want. But of course, because of MStudio, we haven't really launched it yet. So you guys got a good idea of what Hacker Collective is about. So I'm going to share about myself later on. So maybe you guys can just take turns on your videos for a short while, share about what you guys are all about, where are you from, what are your interests, what's your end goal, right? Because ultimately, every week or every month, I'm going to be doing an intro session like this. And every month, we're going to be getting students from across the world, right? Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, Taiwan. We've been getting students from these countries, Hong Kong, for example. And you guys are, fate brought you guys together. So it's good to really journey along, get to know each other in your groups, and, form a group on PathWatch, talk to each other, and just collaborate, right? So yeah, let's. I'm gonna stop talking now. Let's start. Samson, you can feel free to go ahead.
A bit inconvenient for me to turn on the camera, but I'll just talk about myself first. So basically, I am a general purpose executive. I've handled projects from basically every department in my company, and right now the major one is a cloud deployment on Microsoft Azure for what is essentially a very over complex security system. So one of the main things you'll see in this course, from what I can see, is that you will meet people, and that's going to matter a lot more than the course itself. And overall, I'm here because I think the overall business proposition is not something you are going to find every day, and this is going to be quite valuable, even if you don't participate in the course, you just pay the $300 to meet people.
So yeah, hey, thanks for sharing that, Samson. So because we have people who come from different backgrounds and they join for different reasons. Some want to start freelancing, some wants to get a job, some whatever reasons, right? And it sounds to me that you're joining this because of the people. Is that true?
Yeah, after I graduate, I'm going to sell durian.
Say again.
After I graduate from my degree in IT, I'm going to set up a durian store. So I kind of need to know like more people, especially the supply chain people, because I forgot all the stuff I learned about supply chain already.
So wait, you're in first year of uni, but you've been doing so many things. Can you maybe share a little bit about that?
Okay, it's very simple. Once you pick up full stack or literally any one path within technology, it becomes very easy to do that thing. So systems administration in general is where I started from.
So things like load calculation, components within the cloud. It took me a bit of time to pick up, but it was like not unreasonable. It like was 1 month for us to meet this standard. Overall, once you focus on something that you can understand and manipulate, it becomes very easy for you to just apply. Use the same
Wow.
set techniques to apply on any situation, from what I can see.
Hey, Samson, you're giving me the impression that you're already a full stack coder. Are you already a full stack coder?
No, I would, the closest term would be a cloud engineer or cybersecurity analyst or information security analyst.
And your goals, let's say for the next 5 years, what do you want to achieve? Are you going to go keep going deeper in that route, or you want to diversify this?
After I finish my degree, which would be in 5 years, I ought to have like at least 3 different stands every season. That's what I'm looking for, on top of the supply chain to manage that. On top of that would be a general bulk supply chain, on top of a cold chain to manage that. So there will be a lot of Google API programming for maps. How to do milk runs, what's the cost of a milk run, how to integrate into other service providers, leverage on their services so that you don't have to own anything. Use a very minimum amount of capital to basically hit and run the durian market, because durians as a whole is a very durian stores are the first pop-up stores if you think about it, and from there just grow revenue, leverage on my internal supply chain, vertical integrations, and just see where it goes.
Hey, dude, that's awesome, man. Hey, Samson, I would love to have a chat with you further about this to see how we can collaborate and synergize, because my family is pretty much in the durian scene as well. So let's see how we can work together.
So it's mine.
Cool. Hey, thanks, Samson. I hope you guys got to know Samson a little bit better. And let's move on. Hazel. Hello.
Oh, hi. Yeah. Okay, so I'm Hazel from KL, Malaysia. So just like I mentioned that I'm actually an HR in IT company, and I'm purely doing recruitment for tech position. So I hire for like system engineers, developers, and etc. So I'm actually really excited to join this program, as I believe that I'll be able to get the guidance and the help from the community. So I actually bought the online course from Udemy, but I was having trouble to understand the course. Yeah. So and also I'm actually planning for a career switch into tech field, and I'm more
Oh, wow.
interested in front end actually, because I can actually see the end results compared to like back end that probably only after I finish writing the codes then only I'm able to know that whether I wrote it wrong. Yeah.
Awesome. Front end developers are always a good stepping stone, and it's very achievable. I'm gonna share with you why later on. But thanks for sharing, Hazel. So
Yeah.
just to summarize, you're in HR and you decided to make the switch. Why did you choose to do that?
Actually, because like I mentioned to you just now that I believe that tech is the future. Like being a HR is more to like it's easily replaceable, like it's an admin role. So when you go to tech, actually it's more challenging, and you're able to use the tech to create something that can impact to give an impact to the community or maybe to society as well. Yeah.
How much time do you give yourself to, let's say, break into tech?
Actually, right now, because I'm learning digital marketing and also front end
Wow.
development. So yeah, so actually per day probably spend like 3 to 4 hours. Depends. Sometimes
4
I
hours.
may be quite packed with my work, so probably like only 2 hours. Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you so much for sharing, Hazel. This is another reason why
no
we
problem.
changed to this new learning model, because see, everyone has different commitments, and Hazel can spend 2 hours per day. Maybe Christopher can spend 12 hours a day. And obviously Christopher is gonna be learning a lot faster. And that's why we're trying to change this where we can, include as many people as possible. Thanks, Hazel. Thanks for sharing. We'll chat with you again soon, I'm sure. And Christopher, wanna go next?
Okay. Hello. So I am working as a sort of like logistics slash administrator department. So the company, we deal healthcare stuff, and basically I'm in charge of the incoming goods and outgoing goods and the processing of invoices, POs, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm interested in this because seems like fun thing to do, I guess, something to pick up, and maybe make a career switch to something like this.
Cool. So you wanna ultimately your end goal is to make a career switch, lah. Get hired, more like getting a job, not like freelancing or like starting your own startup.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, thanks. Awesome stuff. Taki, if you wanna go next.
Hey, sure. Okay, so I'm from Malaysia. I'm from Penang.
Oh, nice.
Currently working for a company called Zebra Technologies. I'm basically what you call a tech support there. So well, since from my uni days, because I did electrical engineering, so there was not much coding and programming that I learned in my uni days, but I was always interested in doing programming. So after a while, I felt that it was the time that I started to do something to make myself go into the tech world. If not now, then I'll never do it. So I started searching around for like something like this third party courses outside of uni. And I found this course. I went around, look for reviews and that kind of stuff. um I actually found that this the THC full stack development course has pretty good reviews. So that's what made me to go with you guys. So basically, I think the end goal for me would be to I'm gonna put about a year or so, something like that, to make sure that I learn everything that I can, and then improve my programming skills. So basically looking for like a career switch. I of course do have some ideas with some friends about the startup, so I think that will help as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Always love to hear new ideas and new aspirations. So thanks for sharing, Takif.
No problem.
Okay, Rosman.
I actually go by, yeah, sorry. So I am ready. I am currently working as I'm from Singapore. I'm waiting for university right now. I am cause in Singapore we have national service, and I am currently serving. I just finished serving, but I'm still doing a contract position as a firefighter. So
Oh,
I'm
wow.
waiting for uni. Yeah. So I'm still in the fire station now, but I'm waiting for uni, which starts in August. So frankly speaking, I've got no tech experience at all. I'm starting completely from scratch, and I saw this THC course, I think, on the Instagram ads, and I decided, since my portfolio is looking quite empty, and I just wanted to beef up my portfolio and give myself some hard skills. So right now I'm in the process of just breaking into the working world. So I just thought, why not add to my list of skills right now, while I still have time waiting for university. So that's why I decided to go for this tech course. This full
Very
stack
nice.
course. Yeah.
Very nice, man. You guys starting early, man, which is really awesome. So, which uni are you going into, and what are you doing in uni?
I'm planning to actually do tech in uni as well. I'm planning to apply to Singapore Management University. I'm planning to take the information systems course. Yeah.
Very nice. What about Samson? Where are you studying?
I'm studying at SUSS. I was just about to recommend him to apply for that instead.
Oh.
This you can most likely use it as leverage to avoid the 2-year work requirement, so you'll be exempted from that. School fees is easily almost 1/3 of what SMU is offering you.
Yes. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah. Correct.
But the course itself is probably much harder than it needs to be, I would say, as far as the degree goes.
I see.
Awesome.
Well, it's a bit late for that. I already applied.
Just apply for SUSS. Just apply.
Okay. I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Hey, SUSS is awesome. Social sciences, right? They gave us a little grant to do Pathwatch because they really liked the idea back in the days. It was like 3 months ago. So gotta thank you guys for that. Awesome. Singaporean government is really awesome. We have a business in Singapore. That's why they are really supportive. Malaysian government didn't really give us a lot of grants or support, so it is what it is.
They'll be looking for you for money, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, thanks for sharing. Guys, thank you so much for sharing. Now I'm gonna share a little bit about myself. Keep it very, very short. I don't want to bore you guys. But long story short, I was from a finance background, graduated in UK, came back to Malaysia 2 years ago, around September. I was really lost, didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew for sure I didn't want to go corporate, but I didn't know exactly what kind of skill sets do I want to have, right? So I went into venture capital, which I still love until today. And I thought I found my direction. But when I did my first job in VC, I realized I really didn't like it. Why? Because I want to be the one executing, right? Building a business is not easy. It's really, really tough. But on the surface, people can't really see it. I enjoy the execution part of it, where you go through the nitty gritty details of running a business. A lot of small things here and there that you really need to look into, managing a team, negotiations, making deals, that kind of stuff, right? I really enjoy that. So I started learning code because I wanted to do something that's scalable, right? Not just open up a chicken rice shop, chicken rice shop is respectable, can make a good income out of it. But what I was looking at was something that's scalable. And then I realized, okay, scalable, then I need to do something digital. Why not digital marketing? That's it. I went into it, learned it up, and then I realized, actually, doesn't excite me, because I felt like, and number one, doesn't excite me. Number two, it was pretty easy to pick up for me. And so I thought, it's gonna be very, very competitive. And finally, also, I felt like, no matter if I want to go into the digital world and I don't know how to code, or if I don't understand technology, I'm gonna be capped. There's only so far I can go. So, I took the plunge. I met my co-founder, I took the plunge, started to learn coding, locked myself at home, really depressing 6 to 7 months of my life, no income, no salary. I just locked myself, didn't go out with friends because I was so stressed out. I was like 3 years in finance, then I was like so clueless about life. Am I really making the right choice going into tech? And now I'm really happy to tell you guys, I'm not like a super pro developer, even though, I'm capable enough to teach you guys, capable enough to take projects and do projects as well. But I wouldn't call myself a rock star developer. Our team members are, the mentors that we have are, so don't worry about that. But one thing I would say is there is no regrets at all learning to code. And I hope you guys would just, hustle hard and get this kind of realization as well. So I'm sure Samson already probably been there already, but for the rest of you who are complete beginners, you guys got it, man. You guys got it. So I think that's pretty much it. Then went into education, met a lot of beginners, heard a lot of stories like whatever you guys have. And it's really sad to hear. Oh, I also went for a free boot camp that they had last time in Malaysia for a while. It was for refugees only, but I just snuck in anyways because I was so broke, right? I couldn't afford 20,000 for a freaking boot camp. It's crazy. So I stuck into the boot camp, and boot camp was amazing. It was funded by an Australian NGO. I joined it for a while, but eventually they disbanded because I think lack of funds, and their business model was just not sustainable. They were not making income. It was just completely funded by the Australian government. So I realized at that point, if I wanted to do something that could make an impact, I need to find a way to monetize it, not to make a huge profit out of it, but more like just to keep ourselves afloat so we don't lose out like that. And this is really what inspired me to start this. And oh yeah, one more thing, in that free bootcamp, one thing I need to share is that people drop out like crazy. And this is just a fact of life, right? Even in universities, people just drop out. Imagine paying, for a bootcamp and drop out. So the dropout rate for paid boot camps is around 30%. Imagine paying like 20,000 and you drop out. That's crazy, right? Now, imagine if the boot camp is free. It's crazy. The one that I went, I think the dropout rate was like, I can't maths right now, but there was like 30 plus of us who joined in. And in the end, there were 4 of us left who graduated, completed the course. So I thought, this is really crazy and I want to find a different way of doing things. And that's why we started this. So yeah, cool. And now my day-to-day is just focusing a lot more on the business side, project management, handling the team, making sure we can grow and go in the right direction, right? And in the startups that we build, I'm more tasked with finding out what features to build, what features not to build, how to iterate fast, and how to understand what users need, that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of stuff, a lot of constant learning. I'm still very new myself, so always more than happy to explore, meet new people, and see how we can collaborate in any way that's possible. So that's me, and let me continue. Yeah, so these are the awesome jump starters. We call them jump starters and not I mean, sometimes we call them mentors so that common like people outside will understand what we're talking about. But internally, we call them jump starters. Why? Because their role is not to hold your hands. Their role is to ignite your interest in tech. Oftentimes, like I said, right, out of 30 people, freaking 26 dropped out because it's really tough, and people with no background they are very likely to give up without the support, right? And it's normal to give up as long as you come back, maybe 1 week later. Don't call it give up, take a break. Call it take a break. Sometimes when it gets too tough, you get really demotivated. You feel like, can I really do it? Yes, you can do it. The brain is just like your programming brain is like a muscle. You have to you can't just like spam going to the gym and suddenly become like super huge like The Rock, right? This is something that comes gradually over time. So it's the same for your programming muscle, right? And these jump starters are here to constantly ignite your programming muscle. These are just a few of them. We have a lot more of them, and you can feel free to just reach out to any of them. Either through our portal or through our WhatsApp group. Or I haven't created a WhatsApp group for you guys, but that's because you guys realize it's very easy to make a WhatsApp group and add you guys in there and just talk to you guys there, but we didn't do it. Just to be very honest with you, that's because we wanted to port everything onto Pathwatch, and we wanted to see how is the response going to be like if we don't have WhatsApp. But maybe we're considering making one soon if Pathwatch doesn't get the stickiness that we wanted it to have. Yeah, so that's it for jump starters. I'm not going to go through and introduce all of them, but you can get a basic understanding on their journeys on our website. So yeah, cool. I'm going to talk about now the roadmap, and this roadmap thing is probably going to take 10 to 15 minutes. So let's start. This is so in today's session, we're not really going to code at all. And for remaining 20 minutes, it's really just about talking and understanding why we chose this roadmap, what is Pathwatch all about, what is Hacker Collective, and just to get you guys getting to know each other, right? So for the roadmap, okay, so this is something that you're going to need regardless of the chosen path, regardless if you're going to data science or DevOps or whatever, you're going to need all this. You're going to need a browser. I recommend Google Chrome, so make sure you download it. Version control, make sure how to manage your projects, right? Different branches and how you can collaborate, merge different branches together. Project management stuff, you're going to need this, right? Code editor, we use VS Code. All this introduction, all these installations, they're all done in Pathwatch really, so you can just refer there. If you have any questions, remember, ask your teammates, right? Ask them, I'll ask in Pathwatch, ask there. And if someone answers you, great. If you guys can discuss, even better. If you want to organize a meeting and invite your teammates on board, even better. But if you guys cannot solve it together, feel free just drop a message to one of our mentors and he'll solve it for you guys ASAP. But I always recommend to try first before you reach out to mentors so you can learn. And yeah, finally, command lines. So you need to know some command lines regardless. So these are things that you cannot avoid. Okay, so you just have to learn it. Then since this is a web development course, right? When you think of web development, you probably think of, juniors will probably think of things like a website, right? But we're not just building a website, we're building web apps, web applications. So we're not doing things like, your mother's restaurant website or like a travel blog, nothing like that, right? Those are very simple to make. I can probably whip that out in 5 minutes. Very, very simple to make. And there's a bunch of tools out there that you can use already. Don't need to learn to code to do that. So if you're here to learn to do that, then you kind of sign up for the wrong program. But don't worry. What we're trying to achieve out of this is to build full stack web applications. Application means things that you can interact with, give data. Okay, just long story short, things like Netflix, Airbnb, right? Twitter, Facebook, this kind of stuff, you cannot build them with WordPress or Wix. And I'm sure you can understand why. These are applications that, so a web application is like a mobile application. The difference is mobile applications is hosted on the mobile. You have to download the source code. You have to have it hosted on Apple Store or Google Play, right? And web development, all you gotta do is have it on the web. And with technology today growing like crazy, right? Technology is literally growing like crazy, and web development has evolved so much throughout the years that now it's more than enough to just learn web technologies. And for most startups, people always start with web anyways, because if you want to handle different source codes, you're gonna need to handle, let's say, one web developer, one Android developer, one Mac developer, one Windows. You're gonna need so many developers to handle all this stuff if you were to go and build for different platforms. That's why people just go with web, because one web platform is good to run on every devices. That's why I just stick to web. So this is the thing that we're doing. We chose HTML because it's the building block of all websites. I'm not gonna show examples and all that. Usually I do, but you guys can watch through Pathwatch because I explained a very good one in Pathwatch already. And you can also ask questions in Pathwatch if there's any. But HTML is the building block of all websites. You're gonna need to know this. It's about the content of the website, the structure of it, right? Then once you're done with this, give yourself 1 to 2 weeks. That's it. Nothing more than 1 to 2 weeks. Even if you haven't mastered it in 2 weeks, just move on. Because there's so much you can learn, right? There's really so much you can learn, but I think 2 weeks is solid for HTML, maximum. Then move on to CSS. CSS is where you have all the content. CSS is where you throw in the design. CSS is an infinitely big topic. It's super, super huge. So I would say give yourself 3 to 4 weeks, get to know the gist of it, and then move on to JavaScript, which is where if you can become a good JavaScript developer, I can guarantee you will get a job. Okay, I don't want to guarantee, guarantee is a big word, but if you can be a good JavaScript developer, let's say you completely skip HTML, you completely skip CSS, and you go straight into JavaScript, you can still get a job. Why? Because HTML and CSS, they are not programming languages. They are what you call markup language for the content. HTML, hypertext markup language, and CSS, cascading style sheets. It's for design. There's no programming, no logic involved, right? No programming muscle involved. JavaScript is where that comes into play. Okay, so after learning HTML and after learning CSS, you need to combine both of them to build static websites. So, like just now, like I said, like your mom and pop's restaurant website, your own portfolio website, that kind of stuff, really simple one-pager stuff can be done by just HTML or CSS. You can start practicing that after just 1 month. Then after that, move on. JavaScript, very hard. Why did we choose it? I explained in Pathwatch, but long story short, it's everywhere. It's the future, right? If you want to learn anything to do with web technologies, you cannot run away from JavaScript. A lot of people come to me and say, hey, Derek, what's the curriculum that you do at Hacker Collective? Oh, you guys don't teach Python. Okay, I don't want to join you guys. Oh, you guys don't teach Ruby. Okay, I don't want to join you guys. I'm like, that makes no sense. Because for a beginner, just pick one and get really good at it. And that's it, and you'll be fine. And if you're gonna go into JavaScript and you're going to web development, JavaScript, you cannot avoid JavaScript because you're gonna need it anyways, regardless. On the front end and in the back end, you can just learn one language and you can just settle the whole web development. And just FYI, JavaScript can be used for machine learning, can be used for mobile app development as well. Okay, so JavaScript is really powerful, and that's why we suggested to go with this. And it's not tough too, so the more we should go with it. Yeah, then these are things that you're going to need to know: variables, data types, if-else statements, functions, DOM events, logic control flow. These are all beginner topics that I would suggest 2 weeks max. Get to know them. 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a lot really for all this, right? These are all simple topics that you might struggle at first, but if you keep sitting through it, seeing the same problem again and again and again, after 1 week, you'll be fine again if you put your mind to it. And if you reach out to us, if you have any help, if you need any help, Then once you learn the beginner JavaScript topics, then this is where you combine the 3 of them together and build a full, this can be infinite as well. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, just these 3 things alone, you can build anything you want already. But I wouldn't recommend you to build things like Facebook with just these 3 things, because it's going to be very tedious to just use these three things. That's why next up, people usually learn frameworks to make life easier. But before frameworks, you're going to need to learn more advanced front-end topics like CSS Flexbox. You get version control. How can you collaborate with your teammates, right? We're going to cover all of this as well. And basic deployment of the website, which I believe Samson is a pro at, right? So there's so much to learn. And, once you start doing this, combining the 3 of them, you're going to realize, because learning is very easy, right? Just working on Pathwatch, looking at whatever we wrote, watching our videos, it's very easy to learn. But once we get to the projects part, which we have a lot of them, once you get to projects, you realize that you're drowning. You don't know how to connect the dots. And this is where I would assume you would take a lot of time with this one. And then once you're doing this, you realize, oh shit, my CSS knowledge is actually very subpar. I don't actually know crap. Then you're going to start exploring, oh, why can't I do this? How do I solve this problem? This is where the more advanced CSS topic comes in. All right. Then once you're done with that, you're going to want to deploy a website. So after we're done with that, we're going to move on to frameworks, right? Things that are dynamic, right? For example, if you were to build a Facebook, right? There's like 3 billion, I don't know how many people on Facebook. I think there are 1 billion active users, right? So no one is going to go and code 1 billion users there, right? All we do is we have a template for, let's say, a Facebook profile page. Let's say for mine, it's facebook.com/Derek, right? We have a template for that. And every time someone goes to the facebook.com/Derek, the front end template is already there. What we're doing is we're just making calls to the back end and making the page dynamic. So the same one template is used across 1 billion users instead of one developer just sitting there coding 1 billion names, right? So this is where dynamic websites come into play. And that is very powerful. That's something that you need to learn to be a full stack developer, right? So these are some key front-end frameworks, Vue, React, Angular. I would say don't argue about which is better. Just go with one. We chose Vue.js because it's the most beginner-friendly, and it's famous, right? It's like among the three. Yes, some might argue that React is more famous, but on GitHub, this is more famous, right? There's more stars on GitHub. That means more people supporting it, and it's more of a community project. So like, why not just do it, right? It's simple. Then yeah, frameworks basically they make life easy, and single page apps are whatever I mentioned just now. Basically, they use a template, and that's how it works. Don't worry if this is a bit complex. We're going to go into this after you learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This will be fine. Then this will make sense, right? Then once you're done with all that, then congrats. So everything until here is going to take you around 3 to 4 months. Then congratulations, right? This is the time where you start applying for junior front-end roles. You can start applying already. Why? Because you see, if you look at computer science grads, right, they spend a lot of time learning like theory, learning like logic, learning back-end stuff, network stuff, right? But a lot of work has to be done on the front end as well. So if you are cash tight, if you want to start monetizing your skills ASAP, just go and apply for a front-end role, right? You always need front-end developers. For us ourselves as well, we have more front-end developers as well, because there's always changes done in the front end. And if you feel like you can, if you feel like this is your end goal, then great. 4 to 5 months, full-time, learn, that's it. You're there, front-end developers. Everything is stated here. All you need to know is stated here already, right? So, but let's say you, at this point, there are two things you can do, right? After learning front end, right? You can choose to get a job and learn back end on the side passively. So at least you're getting paid. Let's say in Singapore, probably going to get paid 3,000 Sing, in Malaysia, 3,000 ringgit. Or if you get an internship, right? 1.5K ringgit, 1.5K Sing, right? If you can start getting a job, then you can subsidize your lifestyle. And if you subsidize your lifestyle, then you can start learning backend without the amount of stress. Because imagine learning full-time without getting paid, right? That's really stressful. So I often suggest people, once you learn front end, immediately go and apply for jobs. Start applying. Even if you don't get the job, at least you know what you need to know, right? I mean, of course, we're here to tell you what you need to know, right? So we're here for you, but this is a recommendation I give to people who are not with us anyways, right? Just apply for jobs, then you will know what is the industry looking for. And on PathWatch, as more people come on board on PathWatch, where we're going to invite companies, because right now everyone needs tech support. Everyone needs tech help, right? So we're going to be bringing on board a lot of companies. They're going to be stating directly on PathWatch what is the tech that they need. Then you can know directly, just go and learn the tech, do the project for them, and then they're going to interview you right after if they like your project, for example. So it's like a completely different way to see, getting hired, getting projects. And I feel the best time to start is after you learn front end. That's it. Okay. So if this is your end goal, good. That's it. But if you feel like you want to hustle and become a full stack ASAP, then continue grinding, staying at home, keep on learning full stack, keep on learning backend and then become full stack. This is going to take some time also. So yeah, what is backend? It's a complex system, all kinds of logic that happens on your app, basically. No design skills needed at all. It's more closer to traditional programming, where everything is done on the back end, your logic, your how to make things load faster, that kind of stuff, like how to settle your routes, your databases, how do you host things, that kind of stuff, right? To some, it might be boring, but to some, it might be cool. So that's why there are two types of people in this world. So choose whatever you like. There's no right or wrong. They get paid pretty much around the same rate anyways, right? So yep. So the technology we chose is PostgreSQL. You guys probably never heard of this, because this is very, very, very new technology that makes backend development almost automated. You just need to know how to use it, make calls with it, and all the routes will be generated automatically. So this is really powerful. And the way we market this, I don't even think we're doing justice to this technology, because what I'm doing is I'm just slamming the damn logo over there. You don't even know what this is. It looks like a freaking elephant to you, right? So to you, there's no difference between this and Python or whatever. You wouldn't know. But I'm telling you now that as you journey along this adventure, you're going to see how powerful this is. We're literally taking away 70 to 80% of the backend work with this technology. So we automated all of that. We built our projects now. Why we call ourselves a venture builder? Because of these technologies that we're using. We can take tech and we can build it up very, very, very fast because of these technologies. So just letting you guys know now, and you guys will see it over time. No worries. And then, yeah, full stack, right? After you learn all this, you're going to be full stack. Of course, there's a bunch of technologies. This is the one that we chose: Vue.js, Express, Node, and PostgreSQL, right? Oftentimes, people will tell you to go and learn MongoDB, NoSQL databases. Go ahead and learn it, right? Go ahead and learn it. But this is just what we're focusing on now. I don't like to argue about what technology is good, what is bad, but this is what we're focusing on, only because it saves us so much time, and I hope it can help save your time as well. So yeah, that's it, right? That's it. There seems to be, it looks like that's a lot, but really, if you really break them down to categories, that's really not that much. And give yourself a solid 6 months, 6 months to a year, depending on how much time you put in, and you can achieve this as well. Okay. Okay, any questions before I move on? There's not much left, actually. Just want to cover a little bit more about, next I'm just going to move into PathWatch, and that's it. I'm going to wrap it up very soon. Any questions now? Feel free to just unmute yourself.
I don't think you actually introduced yourself.
I did.
Oh, wait, did you?
Yeah, I did, bro. I did. So, maybe I just watch the recordings later. It's going to be in there. I did introduce myself.
It's not a problem, no problem.
Yeah, cool. Hey, well, thanks for asking, man. They didn't know you guys want to know about me. Just kidding. But cool, man. So no questions about the roadmap? Is everything okay?
I mean, I'm kind of like quite familiar with the curriculum, so
Damn, awesome, man.
I just learn.
Awesome.
I'm just here to learn actually how to do it.
Awesome. That's good to know, man. Everyone else, I guess you guys just need some time to really sit down and look at it. Then the questions will come over time. So no worries. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up very soon. But before we wrap up, I just want to show you guys what this PathWatch is about. We spent the past 3 to 6 months really building this thing up, and we even got like a little grant from your university, Samson. Very, very nice of them to give it to really sponsor us. So PathWatch, some of you have tried it, and again, it's still in development phase because it's still like slightly buggy. But the general idea is this: the portal is not done, but general idea is this. Currently, when you go to uni, you need to pay. If you want to schedule a call or a meeting with your lecturer, probably they got like 1 office hour every week. That's it. On PathWatch, people can mess, and just FYI, PathWatch is not a portal just for Hacker Collective, right? We're gonna have a ton of other creators on board, right? I'm assuming before June this year, we're gonna get 10 creators creating other content like data science, cryptocurrency trading, stocks trading, whatever you like, UI, UX design. We have a lot of stuff coming on board. And the idea is we want people to do all their learning on this portal, learn together on this portal. So someone from web can communicate with someone from, let's say, UI, UX, and then make friends there, build projects there, get jobs here as well, right? I mean, we don't have the projects thing up yet, but we do have the companies up, right? Soon we're gonna have a projects page where you can see all the projects available, get paid from it. We have the mentors. You can sign up yourself as a mentor as well. Let's say maybe Samson is good at DevOps. Sign up as DevOps, right? Then the next question I will get is, then how will I know if everyone can be a mentor? How will I know who is good and who is bad? Well, I mean, we have reviews. That's the whole idea about a social portal. You shouldn't leave it to me to tell you who's good and who's bad. If the portal limits and controls that, then it's not a free market. We're gonna make it a free market where reviews can tell you who's good and who's bad. Get in touch with them, learn more about them, and it's free anyways. I mean, some of them might charge in the future. We might add a feature where like the Rockstar mentors might charge, but for now we're just gonna make everything free anyways. Okay. What else can you do? So you can create your own adventure as well if you want to, right? If you're just passionate about pottery, for example, right? You can make an adventure on pottery. And the way we structure is adventure, journey, quest, challenges. Adventure is like the top line thing that you're trying to achieve, right? Learn pottery, right? Become a full stack developer, become a digital marketer. That's a very top line goal. What's the end goal? That's the long adventure. It's going to take 3 to 6 months. Then we have journeys. Journeys will be things like all this. What are the journeys that you need to overcome in order to successfully overcome and complete the adventure, right? And the best part about these adventures, we're going to get companies to vet them so that you know that what you're learning is not bullshit, right? Right now, I am telling you to learn all this. So you are putting your trust in me to give you the best guideline, the best roadmap. But in the future, as companies come on board to vet this adventure, you're going to know that this adventure is actually recognized in a way. Yeah, people always ask me, yeah, Derek, you say so much about university education and all that crap, but universities are recognized. You are not recognized, right? People say that all the time. Then I'll ask them, what exactly is the definition of recognized? Do you really need to be recognized when 50% of Malaysian graduates are unemployed? So what if you're recognized, right? Our point is we want to let the market decide what is a good educational roadmap, what is a good project to do, that kind of stuff. Let the employers decide. And very soon you'll see that, and it's not up yet. So for now, just learn like a normal learning portal, right? Then, these are the different journeys. So journeys are things that will take probably 1 month to 2 months or a few weeks to a month, right? And in journeys, there are different quests. So you click on it, you can see the quests, right? And you can learn it here. You can ask questions here, for example, right? You can ask questions here, and you can answer each other's questions. You can upvote a good question. This is how a social portal should work. Like you can upvote so people know what is good and what is bad. Someone can write, spammy stuff here, right? Someone can write lies over here, right? If I ask what is website and someone tells me a website is a place where people host pornographies only, right? That's a lie, right? People will download that answer. That's what we want it to be, a self-sustainable portal. So I think besides that, I guess we have challenges, companies. The end goal is we know everyone is here to get a job or start freelancing. So the idea is for people to start doing all this stuff to gain points, build projects, get it shown on their profile, sign up as a mentor, right? Get this thing signed up as a mentor, get acknowledged, and hopefully it will help you in your job search or in your freelancing journey. That's the idea, lah. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, right now it's still really empty because we're the only ones using it. Very soon you see more people using it. Oh, and you can form teams. Actually, let's try and form a team. I'm not sure if this feature is even up yet, but you're supposed to be able to form a team. If you see, these are all your group mates. These are all the people who sign up. And I'm really not sure why only 8 of you guys are here, but there are a lot of people who sign up for this thing basically. And what I wanted you guys to do was to form a team. Soon it's going to be here. It's not here yet, goddammit. It's going to be here where you can form a team together with your group mates. Oh. How do you form a team? Yeah, this is the feed, right? Where you can ask questions. This is where I hosted my event. You can ask questions, make friends, that kind of stuff on the feed. Wow, it's bugging out. Yeah, it's bugging out a bit because we're doing a lot of internal testing now. And I'm thinking a realistic timeline for the most stable launch will be end of this month, the most realistic timeline. But you can start learning on here already. Like just all the fancy features that I mentioned just now, probably not going to be up yet until the end of this month. So really, thanks for understanding about that. But soon the Teams feature is going to be here, okay? And you guys can start a team where you guys just, have a sense of belonging with the team, where you can start competing with other teams, help each other within your team and gain points to win other teams. As to what you can do with the points, we're still deciding. Are we going to do things like you can claim vouchers, or you can claim for a meeting with a CEO in a company, that kind of stuff, right? So there's a ton of stuff you can do with points. So just keep it going. That's it. And okay, so next, I'm just going to speed through this. The idea is to learn, experience, then mentor. I want you guys to learn, get experience, start doing projects, even if it's free, start doing things, right? Experience, then start mentoring juniors. 6 months from now, you're going to be in a different position. When you're there, you're going to be even if it's 3 months from now, right? You've learned all these basics already. You can help someone who's just starting off their career, literally, right? And in the future, we might even add in a feature where mentors can monetize their skill sets. Feel free to put your price here. People can reach out to you. They can schedule meetings with you. It's really up to you what you can do. But this is our suggestion, regardless if it's paid or not paid, because being a mentor helps you fill up the gaps in your knowledge. It's really, really a really good way for you to learn as well. So that's my suggestion. And finally, the way we work is, we have what we call the hypo meetups. Hypo means high performance meetups, where we meet up once a week or once every 2 weeks. It's more like an office hour session, right? It's not going to be lecture based because I don't want to be the only one teaching. I don't want my mentors to be teaching. Yes, we're going to be teaching some materials, perhaps like a small project or on a small topic, but that's going to be 30 to 40% of the 1 to 2 hour sessions. The rest of the session, we want to keep it for the community to collaborate, to talk to each other, right? We're going to host panelist meetings, invite software developers in the industry to talk to you guys, tell you guys, what you need to learn, tell you guys how's the journey supposed to be like, or we even want, people to share a little feature. Like, let's say I built a very cool machine learning project, right? And I feel like beginners like yourselves can do it. I'm going to come on this session and I'm going to do it for half an hour. You guys can code along. And even though you might struggle, that's the whole idea about this thing. You will struggle and we want you to struggle. As you struggle, you learn a lot faster. So that's the idea we want to do, right? And then the rest of the session is for you guys to ask us questions. And maybe now you don't have that much questions yet because still new, but down the line, as you keep progressing, you're definitely going to have more questions, and feel free to just save it up, ask during the office hours any questions that you have regarding the curriculum. That's the idea about this hypo meetups, that we don't want to just give you a video course and you just watch it and learn that. We want to also support you guys in your journey, and these sessions are good for that. So yeah, I mean, that's all for today. You guys have any questions? All right, and guys, come on, man. On your cameras so I can take a picture or so I can see your faces, your beautiful faces. Hey, looking good, man, Samson. Thanks for ordering your video.
Yeah, I have a question. How do we organize let's say we run into a problem during our learning. How do we schedule a meeting with our mentors actually?
You can go to Pathwatch, click on this mentors, and you can click on chat with me over here.
Oh, okay.
Or you can just go to feed, which was bugging out a little bit. You can go to feed, click on a question, ask a question here. Previously, some of our previous students asked some questions and we answered them. It might look a bit off to you guys now because we removed some stuff. We removed his code while we were refactoring stuff. But you can ask questions here. Yep. So if you don't, I would recommend you guys to ask questions here, because if you ask it here, every mentor can see it. Then we can help you. Yep. So just ask it here. That's the idea lah. Okay.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks.
Cool. No worries.
Right.
Hey guys, shall we take a group picture? Yeah, thanks, Hazel.
Okay.
I feel like
a little bit messy.
No worries, man. Hey, thanks for ordering your videos, everyone. I feel like a pedophile or like a pervert. You know? So, hey, on your camera. Hey, looking good, man. All of you looking good. Let me just take a picture now. Just a quick one. 3, 2. Okay, one more. Awesome, guys. Awesome stuff. So, hey, cool, man. Hey, thanks, man. It's good. See, this is nice. You can see your faces. And can't see Christopher, though, unfortunately. Looks like a galaxy.
Yeah. I don't think it's working properly.
No worries. So, hey, guys, thanks for joining in today. It's my first time leading a session after a few months. So, apologize if I stumbled here and there. Apologize if I went a bit too fast, right? But all in all, we're back, and the future sessions I might come on board sometimes might be another mentor, but it's gonna be more project focused, gonna be more solving problems focused rather than one person talking like this. Just FYI. So if you guys want to join for those office hour session, make sure you come prepared with questions or come prepared with something to share. Then it's gonna make it a lot more productive. That's the idea. Cool.
Yep, sounds good. Cool.
Awesome, guys. Any questions? If no questions, then that's all for today.
No.
All good.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for coming in, guys. I'll see you guys really soon.
Thank
I'll
you.
upload the video.
Thank-
Yep. I'll upload. Wait, guys. Wait. I'm gonna share the video link on Pathwatch feed here. So on the Pathwatch feed on the post where I posted about this, so you guys can click on the link there and watch it. This session if you want to review it. Okay. Cool, guys. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.